Next on Amazing Discoveries, we'll show you how to have a better than photographic memory with memory power. Now here's the host of Amazing Discoveries, Mike Levy.
How many times have you been introduced to someone and then almost instantly forgotten their name? I mean, that can be real embarrassing. On the other hand, aren't we all impressed when someone we've just met or even met a year ago remembers our name? I mean, it makes you feel real important, right? Today's show is all about unleashing your memory power. Meet Harry Lorayne, the world's foremost memory expert. Harry says we all have a better than photographic memory, and he's helped thousands and thousands of people prove his point using his powerful memory techniques. People like Mark Sisher, who went from being a struggling high school student to an A student using Harry's memory power techniques. People like Wall Street wizard Vic Sprondio, who has made millions using Harry's simple memory power techniques. And we're going via satellite to South Carolina to meet a Vietnam prisoner of war who credits his survival and sanity to the memory power system. And we're going to give you a simple test to see just how powerful your memory really is. Getting better grades with ease, using your memory to make thousands, even millions of dollars, and building a new sense of self-confidence, self-esteem, all with memory power. I'm Mike Levy, and that's our focus on today's edition of Amazing Discoveries. Harry Lorayne, you have been teaching memory power to people for 40 years. Yep. You've been featured in thousands of magazines. You've written bestseller books. You've been on Johnny Carson 22 times. I mean, that's almost more than Ed McMahon's been on. I saw you on Johnny Carson. You remembered everyone's name in the audience and then called them all off. You learned a Time magazine backwards and forwards. I mean, it's got to take genius to do something like that.
Not at all. That power is within all of us. Listen, you have a great memory.
Wait a second. I have a great... No, you got the wrong guy, Harry.
No, you and everybody else listening right now, everybody, you want to prove it to yourself?
Yeah.
Okay, try to forget something you already know.
All right.
Do you see what I mean? It's possible. The more you try, the better you'll remember it. That power is within us. All it has to be is unleashed, released. That's what my memory power techniques do. Listen, and it is better than a photographic memory. You know why? With that, you must be born with it, and it enables you to remember only what you see. With the memory power systems, you can remember anything you see, read, or hear the very first time you see, read, or hear it.
So there's a difference.
A big difference. In school, from grade to graduate school, I've turned failures into A's. Memory power has. Yeah, imagine breezing through the tough subjects like the sciences, economics, history, math, literature. You can.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah. And in business. In business, memory power has taken average people and turned them into executives who have made so much money they're looking for tech shelters now. Really, listen, there is no better edge in business. None. Imagine remembering the names of everybody you deal with, their spouses' names, company names. Imagine knowing everything about your business or company right at your fingertips. Imagine that. The more or better you can learn, and that is the better you can remember, the more you can earn. And visualize the self-confidence, the self-esteem that goes hand in hand with this kind of infallible, incredible memory.
Oh, yeah, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
But, Harry, you have got to prove to me that an average person can learn your memory techniques. Prove it to me.
Any average person can learn. You can do it. Can I do it right now?
Go right ahead. Come right up here.
Folks, would you do something?
Ready, audience?
Do this for me. Listen, visualize, see yourself holding a gigantic knife in your hand. Do that. You've got a big knife in your hand. You know what you're doing with that knife? You're cutting an expensive typewriter in half. See yourself hacking away. You're ruining an expensive typewriter. Now, you know what you're doing? You're wearing those typewriters on your feet, one on each foot instead of shoes. You are wearing typewriters instead of shoes. See yourself walking and typing at the same time. Now, isn't that silly? See the picture. You're wearing a shoe over each eye instead of eyeglasses. You have a smelly shoe over each eye, and you're seeing through those shoes. They're helping you see because they're eyeglasses. You know who else is wearing eyeglasses? A dog. See a dog wearing gigantic eyeglasses. That's silly. See that picture, and you know what the dog is doing? The dog is driving a car. That's impossible. See that dog driving a car? He can't drive. You know what he does? He crashes into a gigantic barber pole. See those red stripes going down that bar? And a million monkeys are climbing up that barber pole. See that picture? Have you seen all that picture? Have you tried to see those pictures? If so, get ready to amaze yourself. Right here at home, you, Mike. What were you holding in your hand?
A knife.
What were you doing with that knife? Typewriter. And what were you wearing typewriters instead of?
Shoes.
And what were you wearing shoes instead of? Eyeglasses. And who was wearing eyeglasses?
Dog.
And the dog was driving a what? And the car hit what? And what was climbing up that barber pole? Can you believe what? Can you believe that? Do you believe what you just did? Do you realize what you just did?
But what's a practical application for
Well,
that?
okay, you just read their minds. I know what you're thinking. I really do. You are saying to yourself, how can what I just did enable me to remember foreign languages, facts, figures, names and faces, right? Speeches, sales reports, technical terminology, foreign language, I mentioned that, anything. Well, I'm telling you, I have shown you just now the tip of the iceberg, the scratch of the surface. I assure you that with similar techniques, you can remember all those things I just mentioned, plus so much more, like absent-mindedness. You'll never be absent-minded again. Yeah.
Now, Mark Fisher was, like so many students, struggling through school, having a tough time, not enjoying it very much. But I understand things changed for you when you discovered memory power.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, before I discovered memory power, I was very, very much struggling, and I was very frustrated because I was working extremely hard and getting C's and D's for a lot of work. So, yeah. And then I discovered the system, took the course, and literally overnight learned how to work much less and get A's for it.
Yeah. You went from C's and D's to A's.
Yeah.
Now you're in college. What's happened since then?
Well, I use the systems in college, and it helps me tremendously there, and it helped me to get into college.
How is that?
Well, it raised my SAT scores about 250 points.
Really?
Yeah.
Very good.
It's amazing. And after that, it also enabled me to become a very well-rounded student because it gave me the free time to do extracurricular activities, which is very attractive to colleges around the country.
Mark, I've got to see a demonstration of your memory power. Can you do it? Give us a little demonstration.
Yeah.
Harry, help me out. What can we have Mark do?
Let's do the item demonstration. Folks, you have cards numbered from 1 to 10. I want you to call a number and any item haphazardly, as quickly as possible. Start me off. 8, wait a minute. 8 is pancake.
1 is cat.
1 is cat.
4 pencil.
2 is a hair clip. What color? Blue. I heard Arabian horse. What number? Number 10. Let's go. 4 is pencil. I got it. 5 is what? Watermelon.
TV.
What number is TV?
3.
3. Come on. 6 is car. What kind of car? Caddy. Come on.
9, Mickey Mouse.
7 is Mickey Mouse. I heard that.
9, Space Shuttle.
9 is Space Shuttle. I think we did it. Did we go too quickly for you, Mark?
I hope not.
You mean to tell me he memorized that
Yes.
whole list?
Yes.
All right, just to check him out, Steve Moore, our director, is going to put all the list on the screen that can only be seen by our home viewers. So no one here in the audience can see the list on the screen. But let's check them out.
Yes, I want to show you that the human mind is the greatest computer of all. You call these completely haphazardly and as quickly as possible. Mark, can you use your computer mind and put these in order from 1 to 10?
Yeah.
Do it.
Number 1 is cat. Number 2 is a hair clip. Number 3 is a television. Number 4 is a pencil. Number 5 is a watermelon. Number 6 is a car.
What make was the car?
Cadillac.
Right.
Number 7, let's skip number 7. Number 8 is pancake. Number 9 is a space shuttle. Number 10 is an Arabian horse. And back to number 7. Number 7 was Mickey Mouse.
Absolutely right.
That's amazing.
That is.
The whole list.
But you know something? That was too easy. That was really too easy. Mark,
That was easy?
Yeah. That was it. Let me show you what I mean. Mark, what is the number 8?
Pancakes.
Yes. What is the number 10?
Arabian horse.
What is the number 3?
TV.
What is the number 1?
Black cat.
All right, wise guy, tell me this. Where is the pencil?
In number 4.
You're absolutely right. Wait a minute. Where is the space shuttle?
Number 9.
And where is the watermelon?
Number 5.
I'll tell you what there. Where is Mickey Mouse?
Number 7.
I've left out 2, Mark. I haven't tested you on 2. Which ones were they?
Number 2 and number 6, which is a Cadillac car.
That's it.
Oh, congratulations. Now, what is the practical application for this, Harry?
The practical application, first of all, you could use it as a stunt. It's taught in the memory power course. Show off, feed your ego. But this could have been anything for schoolwork or any information in business. And you've got to get this for your children.
Like a spelling list or something.
Yes, because it's the greatest gift for a kid. It's something that pays dividends for the rest of their lives.
Fantastic.
The next time you're sitting around with some friends, try this. Raise your glass and say, to freedom.
Try it. You may feel slightly self-conscious, but after all, no harm can come, can it?
2 students in Portugal were sentenced to 7 years imprisonment for doing just that. Toasting to freedom.
That incident on May 28, 1961, sparked the creation of Amnesty International.
Since then, we have intervened on behalf of tens of thousands of prisoners of conscience.
But today, in over 50 countries, you can still be put in prison just for saying what you believe.
In over 60 countries, torture is still systematically used. And in over 100 countries, you can still be put to death, even for political offenses not involving violence. How effective are we? A former official from El Salvador testified,
if there's an appeal from some foreign government or Amnesty International, then they will live. Otherwise, they are dead.
join us to freedom.
Vic Strandio has earned some big dividends with memory power, I understand. Right, Vic?
That's right. That's right. I got my whole start in Wall Street because of Harry's systems.
It got you your first job.
Exactly.
How was that?
Well, I applied for a job that everybody wanted, called a stock trader, and set myself apart from the other applicants. I memorized the symbols on the New York Stock Exchange.
How many are there?
Well, at that time, there was 1,657.
1,600?
Three-letter symbols, yeah.
All that fine print like in the newspaper, right?
Yeah, what you see going across what they call the ticket tape.
That is amazing. And how has this helped you make money?
Well, it's helped me make money by obviously impressing the man, got me the job, and I took it from there, and I used Harry's methods in everything I did in Wall Street.
And how much money are you managing now for people?
A little over $40 million.
$40 million. What does memory power mean to you?
Well, I've learned that memory power means money power.
And not only that, there are so many more that have made a lot of money, but there are people starting out also.
Stephanie Singer tells me that she's doubled her income since she learned memory power.
That's correct.
How was that?
Well, I was working the typing pool for a very long time, and I figured if I stayed there, I'd get crazy, so I decided to use the memory system. And my work output increased, and people began to notice. My boss noticed, and I became his assistant, and ultimately I doubled my salary, and he says I'm his memory.
Well, what have you memorized that can help your boss? What have you memorized?
I've memorized Rolodex.
You memorized his Rolodex, his whole Rolodex, all the phone numbers and addresses?
That's right. Phone numbers.
How many names and phone numbers are in there?
About 200.
200?
That's right.
I mean, if I tell you get Mr. Smith on the phone, you know his name, address, phone number, and all that?
Yes.
Stephanie, that's amazing. Harry, these demonstrations are really amazing.
Not for people who apply the memory power system, it's easy. But names and faces are so important in any business. Let's face it, Mike, would you buy from the salesman who called you Ralph or from the salesman who called you Mike?
Mike, that makes a lot of sense. Now, I saw Harry Lorayne do this demonstration in Johnny Carson. We gave Harry a recent issue of Time magazine, sent him into our conference room, gave him an hour to memorize the whole magazine. Harry came out in a half an hour and said, Mike, I memorized the whole thing. Let's see if he really memorized it. I'm going to go in the audience. An audience, somebody call out a page number. 69.
I heard 69. Page number 69 is the people page. There are 5 pictures for 7 people on the upper left. Brian Boitano, I'll keep talking till you find it, Mike.
I found
Brian Boitano, Katrina Witt. On their ice skaters. On the right is Chuck Berry. He's a jazz musician. On the left, Salman Rushdie. He's an author. In the center, Michelle Pfeiffer, an actress, 31 years old. On the lower right, Lee Iacocca and Marianne Earl in her early 40s.
Okay, time for one more. Page number. Anybody? Harry, page 2.
Page number 2 is the second page of a double-page ad for the American Express corporate card. There's a blow-up, but there's a real picture of a card, and it's Robert E. Carlyle, and the number is 3782-456-789-01001.
But how long has he been a member, Harry?
Since 1958.
Isn't that amazing? That is amazing. But, Harry, does it stay with you? Once you've learned this magazine, is it going to stay with you?
You're asking about retentiveness. Yes, it stays with you for as long as you want it to stay with you, and it is all so easy. I can't express how easy it is. It is the only art or skill that I know where you see results immediately. You don't have to wait to see results. You've seen how important it is in schoolwork. You've seen how terribly important it is in the business world. There's no better edge, so you can retain for as long as you like.
But, Harry, show us that we can all retain these things.
Sure. I gave you a list some time ago. If I said monkeys right now, what would that remind you of? That's right.
What hit the barber pole? Who was driving the car? And what was the dog wearing? And what were you wearing instead of eyeglasses? And what were you wearing instead of shoes? And what were you doing to that typewriter? My gosh, you did it! That's marvelous.
We all did. I mean, I remembered it. Memory power. When we come back, we're going to go on location to Texas and visit an elementary school that's teaching as part of their curriculum Harry Lorayne's memory power system. And we're going to meet a Vietnam POW. All when we come back on Amazing Discoveries. Well, give me an example. Show off.
Tell me your birthday.
My birthday.